Right, my pitch is about social media. We got a grant from the ESRC and also from the Applied Quantitative Methods Network to look at the BBC's Have Your Say threads. So we looked at a moderated forum and we looked at an unmoderated forum looking at Twitter. And we were looking at how bad it was online during the Scottish referendum. And we were in particular looking at kind of the foul. And a lot of programmes have already been made about the foul. There was one last night on BBC Three. About what can go wrong with trolls and all that kind of stuff, and Richard Baker's done one as well a couple of years ago. I'm looking at this more in terms of online literacy and how we can make our citizens probably better informed and make better choices when they're online and engaging with Twitter. Now this is important. We know certainly from Obama onwards, so from 2008 onwards, that the social media's had a role in terms of encouraging political participation, getting people mobilised, turning out the votes. We know it's important from that perspective. It might also alter the actual election outcome. So we know from the Irish presidential election, for example, in 2011, that this had an impact, a tweet that was raised during a television programme had an impact possibly on the outcome of that election. So we know that there is a lot of importance in social media and that things can go wrong online. Rather than focus on kind of one of the things that I've come up with is 5 things to be aware of when you're online that we might all go wrong with. And these are listed, if you turn the page, there's a list of them beyond my face there. And then there's 5 things to consider also when you're online. And these we derived from the research that we were conducting. We focused also on the foul and also how bad it was online. We actually found that it wasn't really that bad online. It was a small minority of things that would pop up. But as an academic, if I said something, I'd be shot down. If a journalist stood up, so I don't think they were getting shot down. Same with a politician. So if you did poke your head up, you were a target. But on the whole, actually there was a lot of very good stuff out there. And actually Twitter did some things quite well in terms of sharing government documents, information. So there were some positives from that. And we're kind of trying to look at how we can make people do more of the positives and less of the nasties online by looking at kind of the 5 things to be aware of and the 5 things to consider. So foul is the obvious one, which a lot of people have made television programmes on already. But I want to go deeper on this and look at some of these other issues like the fallacies that you might make. So for example, during the Scottish independence referendum, an English person might say, Englishman says, and then they might say something nasty about the Scots or Scotland, and then the presumption might be to aggregate that up from the individual to all English people and say, oh, look at the English, because this is what they're saying about the Scots. So that's an example of a fallacious post where you might aggregate up from the individual to the entirety of a population. So it's pointing out some of these possible errors. And what I envisage doing this through is by providing examples, also providing examples of politicians doing this. We know that politicians, even though they've got briefs from Parliament, they make mistakes as well. So providing examples with politicians, providing examples from the general public, maybe having discussions with students and younger people about these issues that they have faced. I've done numerous presentations throughout Scotland and the UK, and a lot of the comments that I've got back pertain to a lot of these categories that we've come up with. So there's lots of things that I'd like to cover and go over in this program. Thank you.